They feel that the government also cheated them on this.
Yes, some of the women were saying that why didn't anyone come to help us at that time?
Excuse me, Sama, just to add to your comment, I work as a relief, I'm from Spark and I work as a relief coordinator in Mardan and Saudi area, and now working in Swat as well. Obviously, we are working in camps and host communities, IDPs there, and we had daily discussions with the local people who migrated, IDPs and people. And same thing you said, I said, what was happening there? In actual life? Obviously you have come from this, so just tell me.
Yeah.
I said army was there later on, and then again Taliban were there. So what was happening? He said, he was a simple guy, and he said a very simple thing. Army was a prophet, and Taliban was the caliphs. That was his comment.
Yeah.
So after I didn't ask him anything, I said, okay. And then women in the camps, they were telling other stories that...
So I think this should spread to entire Pakistan so that people know who is the caliph and who is the prophet.
Well, obviously, I think...
Because some people idolize the army, they don't know they are prophets.
This Fasrullah radio FM station, and this went on for 5-6 years.
Not just him, there were many
There were many others. There still are.
There still are.
Like you mentioned, Southern Punjab, all these jihadi organizations.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the oppressive form of which is called Talibanization, and this is their dominance over women by spreading fear.
Yeah. That's how they work.
How deep?
That's how they work.
How deep they were able to
it's a mindset
entrench
like
themselves.
Sorry?
How deep they were able to entrench themselves, the Taliban, or the Maulvi Fazlullah.
In Swat?
In Swat.
In Swat, they had a big following. Now, people, massive following. Some...
Swat, Malakand.
All Malakand division was over.
Like he was pretty popular in that area.
Much
Yes.
Even then, look at the irony.
Yeah.
The government released Maulana Tufi, what was his name? Tufi Muhammad. And then he went on there and he was giving sermons. They were signing a peace.
There was not a single sniper shooter for him, for Pakistan army to send it there.
Well, obviously, we don't need a sniper to kill him. What can you say?
But sir, here I have also one comment also, because it is when we see in our society those women, those are illiterate or like that, they immediately accept like intervention or like that, something there is a preach immediately, yes, they are follower also. Those are educated, they at first think, okay, what is problem or like that also. Same happening in other societies, not it can be repeated in other part of Pakistan also, in our villages also, it is same practice. Whenever in the name of Islam, any mullah, like anyone will come, immediately they will give whatever is with them also. So it is, and then those are literate or those are qualified, they accept, know, okay, what will be output of that? How the means, how will they reach at the end also? So they think up to that level also. So that is problem also, that mostly illiteracy, that is the major problem in our society also.
I think it's the illiteracy plus not just, you are very right in saying this thing, but again if you look at the international media, whatever they portray to us or to the general public, they're going to accept that image. Okay, Islam is not what is in the media these days, but it's in the media and people think that's Islam, what's there. Suicide bombing, it's not in Islam anywhere. It's strongly opposite in everywhere, but people think, okay, Islam and suicide bombers, they are together or same thing maybe. So people are going to accept whatever something is. If you put something constantly in someone's mind, they're going to accept it.
I think it's the mindset, because
exactly.
the suicide bombers, they are neither Islam, neither are they culture.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in culture also there is no reason for them to be there. And from the Islamic point of view, of course, the question doesn't arise. So what is it? That's the million-dollar question. What is it? So I think the brainwashing that they do.
Especially it's hard to brainwash those people. I think like that. Because it's so hard. Those people not understand the difficulties of these women and like.
But the thing is that there were many people who actually resisted such pressures. And these are the people that need to be highlighted as role models or as heroes. I feel such
Those who resisted.
yes, such,
But those are very few.
very few, yes.
few.
But like just to change a mindset, such an approach can actually help positively.
What I have heard is that, sorry to cut you, what I have heard is that the Taliban, they used to go to every family and said, you give me 2 children, 2 sons, or give me 1 son, and then we will not say anything to the rest of them. So they would take very young boys and then brainwash them and then drug them. So when he would go for the suicide act, he wouldn't know what he was doing. He was so dazed and so doped.
And then
I would like to share something
all the
here.
economic issues, you know.
My
Yeah,
name
of
is
course, that's the reason.
they're forced to
It's a
send
mission.
I would
children.
like to share something here with you. My
Please,
name is
please,
Musarrat
please.
and of course,
Yes.
your work is commendable, Summer.
No, but Musarrat, I'm sure, has a lot to share with us because she's also been involved in such issues. And has
I'm
been-
involved in 2 things right now. I'm actually conducting a research on the impact of this conflict on women in Swat. And I have interviewed some 900 women in that context. And I'm also actually involved in de-radicalization of the youth who already were, I would say, trapped by Taliban, and they were captured by the army. Some 700 of them were captured by the army. I was able to approach some 70 of them through their families. And now I'm working with those 70, I would say, Taliban, but they are in different categories. One thing that I would like to share,
The good Taliban or the bad Taliban?
they are in different categories, they were different
How would
levels.
you categorize them?
I don't know, I call them mercenaries because from my point of view, they are the ones who were paid for their services. And they were the ones who actually were fighting for their own livelihood because many of them whom I have interviewed, they just wanted some money.
Oh,
And it was a fight, I would say it was a conflict between the haves and the have-not, particularly in the context of Swat. I'm just talking particularly like regarding the conflict in Swat. And one thing that I found, the misinterpretation of Islam, I mean the way the verses of the Quran were misinterpreted by Fazlullah. So you must have those cassettes with you. And when I went to those women, especially like the woman, and the woman actually, the girl who was flogged, I interviewed her as well.
You met her?
I met her. I met her sister and I met the girl as well. And then I also met one of the lady who collected 2 kilos of gold rings. So when I went to her and I said, why did you collect 2 kilograms of gold rings? So she simply said, because Fazullah would say that you have to collect this for jihad. So I said, jihad against whom? She said, infidels. Who are infidels? Pakistan army.
Oh.
So this was like, this was the distorted form of Islam that was presented to those women, and I think they played with the innocence and the ignorance of the women. True. And I think that helped them in like strengthening their force, especially amongst the women. And we have to actually, like Kama just said, that it is our responsibility now to, project the true interpretation of Islam, as well as to project the true image of Islam and Pakhtun Wali, not only nationally but internationally as well.
And involving the youth would be very
This is what we are doing right now, and we have been able to reach out to around thousands of them.
Yeah.
But don't you think that we, all of us sitting here, are in one way or the other responsible for having these mullahs dominate us? Because we failed to learn the basics and the teachings of Islam. And that's how we brought mullah in our life.
Yeah.
We can't say namaz-e-janaza, we need a mullah.
Yes.
We need khatam, we need a mullah.
We can't
I
be
mean,
about
this is the basic reason, in my opinion, that we have allowed these. If there was a concept of mullah, the first one we should have had in Masjid al-Nabi.
Well, these things the priests do in the West.
We've let them hijack
Marriage and
But projecting this is very good thing. In a way, we are covering our own follies. Don't you think we should revert back in a way that we kept this